Hey there, welcome to the final part of my rundown and look at 164 upcoming movie sequels that are in the works and might be coming out later this year or next year, or maybe not at all, or just speculative sequels, so to speak. Um, I know it's been a little bit of delay. I've been dealing with some other stuff. Pretty much just really stuff that's school related and so forth and so on. So I haven't really gotten around to doing this part, recording this video until right now. So I hope you guys enjoy it though. And let's get started, shall we? Um, we start off with the Raid 3. And I have not actually seen the Raid 2. I haven't even seen the Raid yet. The Raid Redemption. I really want to get around to seeing those movies. I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet. And yeah, I I've heard good things about the Raid Redemption. I like the trailer. I have the movie on DVD. I just haven't made the time yet to sit down and watch it. So when I do, definitely expect a review, and I'll probably check out the second film as well. Not saying when that's going to be, but maybe sometime this year, maybe we'll see. Anyway, this is a film that Gareth Evans is planning on making, the third film in the series. He's planning on making it take a couple years away from pretty much really not. I read it wrong. He's planning on doing this a couple years from now. So he's saying that it's going to splinter off the Raid 2, and he says that it will begin 3 hours before the story of the Raid 2 finishes and go in a different direction. And so it may or may not happen. Tentative sort of release dates are 2017 and 2018 for the time that we'll be able to see it. Sorry for saying 2000 a bunch of times. Uh, anyway, the next sequel after that is Rambo Last Blood, aka Rambo 5. Stallone wants to do this, but last time I remember hearing or reading things about this that it was pretty much done and it was not going to happen. Uh, he was going to write and direct this one, but then we heard that a TV show was going to replace it instead, called Rambo: The New Blood. And if you ask me, I'll take Rambo: Last Blood. Even with Sly's latest pretty meh, awful track record lately, I will take that any day of the week over Rambo New Blood with some young kid trying to play some young John Rambo, a Rambo prequel with a young Rambo that I want no part of whatsoever. So I will take a fifth film with Rambo being a day old, being older, not a day older. I mean, that's wishful thinking. Being older, but part of me, though, a big part of me is just really honestly, if you're going to ask me honestly, I'd say I don't want either one. Because I personally think Rambo 4, Rambo, or John Rambo, ended the franchise perfectly. It came full circle, and I don't really see a need for another Rambo film, let alone a Rambo TV series with a young Rambo. So, yeah, that's just my thoughts. I really don't have much else to say about it. I really like the Rambo franchise as a whole. At least all four films that have came out lately. Um, but I don't really have faith in a fifth film, and I don't really want a fifth film because it just seems a little bit excessive. Then we have Resident Evil, the final chapter. Is it really going to be the final chapter? Is it really going to be the last of Paul Wild Stallions Anderson's fan fiction starring his hot wife? Is it really going to be the last of these Resident Evil movies? Because if it is, then maybe I'd be like, okay, all right. But at the same time, I don't think it's going to be. Especially if it makes money, it'll just mean that they'll make more of these movies because they're cheap to make and they make a lot of money. Doesn't matter if they're accurate to the game or doesn't matter about that. Just matters that they make money. And it's amazing to me that there's been this many Resident Evil movies anyway, and as many of these that don't even follow the comic. I mean, not the comic, but they don't even follow the video game storyline, and like literally just disrespect characters right and left in order to make Alice the big badass, who's basically a character that was just created for the movie and the series. And she's gotten so overpowered to the point where it's ridiculous. She's just Neo now, I guess. She's the one. Anyway, yeah. I've seen one of these movies, and I was only able to make it through one of these because I was watching it with my friend, and it was Afterlife, and yeah, that was a piece of shit. Quarter shooting shotguns, what the fuck is that? The final chapter, I don't care. The only final chapter I give a shit about is Friday the 13th, the final chapter, which is a film I actually like, so I'll just watch Friday the 13th, the final chapter, instead of Resident Evil, the final chapter. The next one is maybe Riddick 4. I haven't seen Riddick 3 yet. I haven't heard very good things about it, but I did like Pitch Black, and I haven't really seen Chronicles of Riddick, or I did, but it was like years ago. So, I mean, someday I do want to review the Riddick films for this channel, because I have all 3 of them on DVD. I have Pitch Black, I have Chronicles of Riddick, and I have Riddick. But Riddick 4 doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Riddick, the first film was a kind of okay hit, but it didn't really make that much money. And Universal rather focus on the Fast and the Furious franchise and make more Fast and the Furious movies than more Riddick films with Vin Diesel. So if it happens, it happens, but I would definitely say don't get your hopes up if you're a fan of the Riddick character. That's pretty much what I got to say on that. Rounders 2. The last update in this came at the end of 2014. Edward Norton confirmed that there was a possibility that there might be a follow-up, but there hasn't been any progress since, so it seems that it's pretty much dead in the water. But the idea is there. I haven't seen Rounders, so I don't know what to say. Sounds like it did, from the trailers I've seen and from what I've heard about it, doesn't really sound like it needs a sequel. So, yeah. Then we have Rush Hour 4, which is something that keeps getting thrown about. Jackie Chan confirmed this to TMZ a while back, said that Chris Tucker would return. What? As long as there's a steady paycheck in it? I mean, a hefty paycheck in it? He'll do anything you say? And then presumably director Brett Ratner too. Ratner has to schedule Beverly Hills Cop 4 in there somewhere as well, which is another sequel is probably not going to happen. Rush Hour 3 was shitty. I did not like Rush Hour 3. I liked the first Rush Hour the first 2 Rush Hour films. I think they're fun action buddy cop comedies. But I did not like the third film. I didn't find it funny, and I thought the action was kind of lackluster. So I don't really want a 4th film, especially since Jackie Chan is even older now than he was in Rush Hour 3. And I know he wants to act like I can still do all this stuff, but you know, Father Time waits for no man, and age is a definite problem, especially for somebody like Jackie Chan. He's not like Stallone, who's never been a martial arts guy. You know, Jackie Chan has been known for his martial arts, and the older you get, the less flexible you are. The older you get, the less you're able to do. And I don't really want to see a Rush Hour film where you have Jackie Chan being a half strength and Chris Tucker making millions of dollars just to be in the movie and annoy me. Because I found his character more annoying in the 4th film than I did in the 3rd film. I'm already talking about the 4th movie. In the 3rd movie than I did in the first 2. But pretty much nothing has been really confirmed yet. It's a maybe at this point. Then we have Salt 2, which it's probably not going to happen. But I was one of the few people who really enjoyed Salt. I liked that movie a lot. I saw it in the theater when it came out. I definitely say it's one of my favorite Angelina Jolie movies. I thought it was a fun movie. I thought it had some good action. I thought Jolie did a great job in the lead role. I'd even say I actually liked it a little bit more than the first 3 Bourne films, but that's just me personally. But yeah, it seems like she doesn't want to do it, but the project might go ahead without her involvement. And a script is in place, and Sony seems to be thinking maybe or maybe not. Maybe we should press forward without her. Press ahead without Jolie. But there seems a little point to keeping the world Salt in the title. Exactly. There's no point to call it. There's no point in calling it Salt 2 if you don't have Angelina Jolie. So if you're gonna do shit like this, it's like the Bourne. Remember the Bourne spinoff with Jeremy Renner? I never saw it, and I don't think very many other people. I don't think anybody saw that movie. I mean, there's people who saw it, but it definitely wasn't me. I completely forgot. I don't even remember what the fuck. I don't even remember what the title of that movie was. I don't. I really do not remember what the title of that movie was. Let's not have a Triple X2 State of the Union and have some other actress play the Salt character. Let's not do that. If you're gonna do a Salt 2, you better have Jolie. If you don't have her, scrap it. Don't do it. And it seems like that's pretty much what they're gonna do because I have not heard any news about Salt 2 other than from this site and from this list. The next one is really a head scratcher to me. Yes, I know it made a lot of money. This lazy, boring, shitty disaster porn movie that is San Andreas made a lot of money. It's fine if you like the movie. I was not a fan of this film. I did a rant on this movie on my channel. So this movie, San Andreas, it's getting a sequel. How? What, is there going to be another big giant quake? No. I guess they're going to try to think about doing it with a volcano instead. But it could involve another earthquake. We don't really know what the plot is going to be. But we know that The Rock is going to come back to play the rescue helicopter pilot that he played and did such an amazing job with in San Andreas. And Brad Payton will return to direct it. And the original writers are not involved, but there's some other guys who are writing the screenplay. But it could involve another earthquake, which would be deja vu. It would be absolutely pointless. But it could also maybe involve a volcano, and then it would just be a ripoff of Volcano. And I'd just rather watch Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones, which I actually think is a pretty fun disaster movie. I like that 10 times more than San Andreas. San Andreas was everything you've seen before, and then some. All the stuff, sort of visual effects and CGI, and the catastrophic events that we saw in the movie. I saw them already in movies like 2012. And it was just it really didn't really have very many characters that I really liked. The action was pretty forgettable. Overall, that was a pretty awful film, but it's gonna get a sequel because it made a lot of money, and I would not be surprised if they just ripped off Volcano, and it's just a volcano in LA. It's just the same movie as Volcano, but it's just with The Rock, and it's called San Andreas 2 instead of Volcano. The next one, why? Is there really a demand for more of these movies? And what am I talking about? Saw. Saw Legacy. An 8th Saw film. It's in the works. Original Saw director James Wan and its writer Leigh Whannell. They serve as executive producers. Josh Stolberg and Pete Goldfinger. That's his last name. Goldfinger. No joke. That's his real last name. Who helped write the Piranha movies, the recent Piranha movies, like Piranha 3 Double D, and that piece of shit remake Sorority Row. He's working on a screenplay for this. Yeah, this is a guy who could be called Stinkfinger because it really, not everything he touches turns to gold. Yeah, Saw Legacy, no thank you. You had 7 of these movies already, and 7 was too much, and 7 was way too many in the first place. We don't need another Saw film. Just don't do it. Period. I don't want another Saw film. 7 was more than enough. I didn't even want 7 Saw movies. I don't want an 8th one. But the next sequel on this list, I actually do want to see. It's Sherlock Holmes 3. And this one's pretty much kind of just stuck in the mud, so to speak. mean, director Guy Ritchie and Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law all want to make the movie, but none of them really have the time to do it. And a script is still in the works, but with Sherlock Holmes 2 having come out at the end of 2011, the clock might be ticking on this one. But I recently heard some recent sort of stuff from Robert Downey Jr. talking about how he might start shooting it soon or whatever. And I hope he does, because I really love those Sherlock Holmes movies with Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law. They're my favorite Sherlock Holmes. They're my favorite adaptations of Sherlock Holmes and the character. I really love those films. I think they're really fun and inventive. And I love Robert Downey Jr. I love Robert Downey Jr. in that role as Sherlock Holmes, and I like Jude Law. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to Sherlock Holmes 3 if it actually does happen. Then we have Shrek 5. And this is supposed to be, Shrek is might be reintroduced in Puss in Boots, the Puss in Boots sequel, before we get another Shrek movie. And I gotta be honest, I like the first two Shrek films. I was not a fan of Shrek 3. I thought that was awful. And Shrek Forever After was, it was alright, but it was definitely better than Shrek 3, but it was, I wouldn't say it was up there with the first and second films. So I don't really know what other stories they're going to tell with Shrek. I know they're really huge money makers for the studio, but I don't really want a Shrek 5, and it's okay if other people do. And I know there's probably a lot of people out there who do want another one, but I'm not really one of them. I think the Shrek franchise has run its course. They pretty much already ran the well dry, so to speak. You're gonna have a Puss in Boots sequel, and then you're gonna do Shrek 5. I think it screams of just a cash grab at this point. That's pretty much what it screams of. Not to tell some sort of unique story or different take on the Shrek franchise. It just screams of, let's get another one out there because this is a popular franchise, and hope that we get as much money as we think we're going to get from Shrek 5. But, hey, who knows? It might be good. I don't know. But it's something that might happen, might not. It's up in the air. Then we have Sicario 2, which we don't need a sequel to Sicario. It was a perfect one-off film. Why? No. I don't want Sicario 2. This is not a film that needs a franchise. Not every movie that comes out nowadays needs a sequel. Sicario is an absolute prime example of this. It does not need a sequel at all. It ended perfectly, in my opinion. I don't want to see a follow-up. I think it was a really finely crafted, excellent movie in its own right. I don't think it needs a sequel. I don't think that's necessary. Then we have Sin City 3, which I'm like, why? Sin City 2 was a bomb. I didn't see it, but it looked like shit, and there's a reason why I didn't see it. I love the first Sin City. It's a very visually impressive and stunning movie. It does a great job with the black and white cinematography and the comic book panel style sort of editing. But I've heard really bad things about Sin City 2, and it was a huge flop, so I don't think Sin City 3 is happening. Now, the next one, I'm not the audience for this. I don't fucking care. And this is Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants 3. And I'm just going to travel away from talking about the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants 3, because I don't have anything to say. Except 3? There's going to be 3 of these movies? We're going to have a trilogy of the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants? Then we have something called Smiley's People, which is supposed to be a follow-up to Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, which I've never seen. But I remember when I worked at a movie theater, this older couple, when the movie gets over, I asked them how was the movie, and they were like, it was horrible, it was boring, we wish we went and saw something else. So, I know and this is the demographic that this film was trying to appeal to, and I got someone from that demographic being like, it was boring, I wish I could get my money back. I don't know, never saw it, didn't interest me. Then we have Spaceballs 2, aka the search for more money. This is something that's a maybe. It's been in a maybe for a long, long time. I don't think this should happen. It's something that if it was going to happen, it should have happened around the time of the Phantom Menace. They've pretty much exhausted that opportunity. Mel Brooks, I don't really know if he's up to directing again. And John Candy's no longer with us. No John Candy, and even around the time of Phantom Menace, John Candy was around, and really that's the thing. No John Candy, no Barf, no movie. No Spaceballs 2. I mean, I love Spaceballs. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. It's my favorite Mel Brooks comedy. But I don't want a sequel. I already saw what it kind of would be like in the animated series, and the animated series was awful. At least I thought it was anyway. So I don't really want a Spaceballs 2. It's too late for the search for more money. Then we have Splinter Cell 2, which this is a film that's already is being discussed, but the Splinter Cell film hasn't reached cinemas yet. Where's the Splinter Cell movie? Why are we talking about Splinter Cell 2 when the Splinter Cell movie with Tom Hardy, directed by Doug Liman, I guess, hasn't even come out in theaters yet? I don't even know if that film's been greenlit. In fact, I'm going to do some research right now to see if it's even been greenlit, because I don't even know if that movie's even happening. 2017. It's in development. That's all it is. It's in development. It doesn't have a writer. It doesn't have a director. Doug Liman might be doing it, but I guess maybe he might have dropped out. There's nothing to this. Why are studios announcing sequels before the first film even comes out? I mean, that's just really not a good idea. And speaking of not good ideas, Stargate 2 through 4. What is up with Emmerich? What is up with Emmerich and Dean Devlin wanting to do like a ton of freaking sequels to the earlier movies, like out of nowhere? Independence Day 2, like, but they're way too late with no Will Smith because we're gonna kill him off screen and the aliens are gonna invade again. And I'm like, why? Why would I want to see this? They're gonna invade again? Are they gonna get defeated again? Or is it repeat the same thing? We don't need an Independence Day 2. I've seen the new trailers. It looks like disaster porn. It doesn't look like anything to me. I don't want to see the movie. It looks like generic CGI alien invasion. The movie. That's what it looks like to me. Generic CGI alien invasion. The movie. So, I don't get a Stargate 2 through 4. You already had Stargate SG-1. An entire TV show that lasted for multiple seasons. You had Atlantis, which lasted for a little bit. I mean, there's no need for Stargate 2 through 4. I mean, absolutely not. You'd be like if you got a Stargate 2. You're definitely not getting Stargate 2 through 4. I mean, who the hell do you think you are, Roland Emmerich? Do you think you're Ridley Scott? And you get like 4 Prometheus prequels? Fucking goddamn it. Your Prometheus sequels. Alien prequels, sorry. 4 Alien prequels and 4 Prometheus movies. Just 4 movies too much. Then we have Star Trek Beyond, which I hated the most recent, the teaser trailer with the Beastie Boys. Didn't fit. It really seems like they're trying to make it look like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and that's not what Star Trek is. Maybe it's just a case of a shitty editing, and just poor decision making by the advertising department, but I don't know. But I am one of the few people who actually did enjoy Star Trek Into Darkness, so maybe I might give it a look. Who knows? Star Wars Episode 7 and 8. I'm just gonna say I know nothing about this. I know nothing about these movies. Except that Rian Johnson is going to direct the second one, and he's going to direct episode 8, because we already talked about episode 7, episode 8 and 9. My bad, sorry. There's so many fucking Star Wars movies now. Sorry, my brain just seized up there for a second. Episodes 8 and 9. So Rian Johnson is going to direct episode 8, and episode 9 is going to be directed by Colin Trevorrow, who I really think is a very overrated director because his directing in Jurassic World did nothing for me. So, I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is I remember reading something about this rumored plot point for episode 8 that this has got to be bullshit. Where the whole concept is that Rey is Anakin reincarnated. Come on, that's. I hope it's true though, so I can have some ammunition for once against these new Star Wars movies. And really, if that's the case, that's fucking stupid. Anakin reincarnated. She's Anakin reincarnated, and then the rumor even had a line of dialogue, which would be hilarious. They're not going to do this. The line of dialogue would be like this, where Rey is thinking, she's talking to Luke, and she's like, "You're my father," and then Luke's like, "No, you are." There's no way that's real. There's no way. If that is, I'm gonna be. I just no. I mean, there's no way that's actually going to happen. That's absolutely. But if it does, hey, well, I'll be shocked, and I'll definitely be rolling in the aisles. There's no way that's stupid. But anyway, I don't. That's other than that rumored plot that's leaked on the net, which probably is a bunch of bullshit. I don't know what else to say about Star Wars Episode 8 and 9, except I hope they're better than The Force Awakens, which I thought was just okay. But it was decent. It was a time waster, but yeah, it could have been better, at least to me anyway. Then we have Super Troopers 2, which is being made because of Kickstarter. I've only seen clips of the first Super Troopers. I've never seen the whole movie. It looked like it might be fun. So, if you're a fan of Super Troopers, you're getting Super Troopers 2. So, look forward to that. Surf's Up 2, don't give a shit. Especially that it's going to be a WWE sequel. WWE picked up the rights to Surf's Up, the Surf's Up franchise. And it's going to come out, it's probably going to come out on home video, and it's called Surf's Up 2 WaveMania. And it's gonna, the surf crew is gonna be voiced by John Cena. Oh man, it'll be voiced by John Cena. It'll be voiced by John Cena and The Undertaker and Triple H. Triple H, John Cena, The Undertaker. What are you doing? What are you doing, Taker? Really? Lending your voice talents to Surf's Up 2? Surf's Up, Big Kahula! Oh, I'm definitely not looking forward to that movie. Fuck Surf's Up 2. WaveMania. Ridiculous. Then we have Taken 4. How about no? How about no? And even Den of Geek, I love how they write this. They're like, never mind the stinky reviews. The Taken films continue to make money. And because they continue to make money, they continue to make them. Oh, that's a perfect way to sum up these Taken movies. Which is another franchise that just like The Raid, I haven't got around to watching yet. So I can't really say that these sequels are bad because I haven't seen them yet, but I've seen other people's reviews of them, and you know, doesn't sound very good. I mean, I don't have to see the movie to know that fucking throwing grenades to show where you are is fucking stupid. So, Taken 4, probably, I don't know, I'd probably say don't do it. Especially if you're going to hire the fucking Decepticon that is Olivia Megaton of shit, to direct. They probably will. If you're going to do a Taken 4, he's going to get it. He's going to get it. It's going to be a 4-way. And it's going to be a 4-way with a chainsaw right up your asshole because somebody fucking hired this guy again. They actually gave the guy another job. They didn't listen to a certain friend of mine's advice. But there's also an idea that there might be also a TV series also in the works. So Taken the TV show. Just like we had the Transporter TV show that I don't watch. And I don't know very many people who do watch it. But Taken, the TV series. And there already was a Taken TV show, but it was about, like, people getting abducted by aliens. I gotta be honest, though. I'd watch a movie with Liam Neeson, like, fighting aliens as his Taken character. It'd be so absurd. But, it might be kind of fun. But at the same time, it'd be like, no, that's stupid. I'd rather just see Liam Neeson versus aliens as a different character, not his Taken character. But anyway, yeah. Don't know what else to say about that. Now the next one, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. Too much nasty talk. Too many nasty titties. Too many nasty taints in my face. 2 out of the shadows, aka out of my asshole, out of your asshole. It's coming out this year from the director of Earth the Echo, and Josh and his apple bomb and his apple bottom jeans and the boots and the fur and the he's writing the script for this one, and it's coming out this June. I don't have anything else to say about this except it looks like shit. And I'm gonna quote Tango and Cash, and I'm gonna be this is my reaction to this awful reboot of Ninja Turtles getting a franchise. This whole thing fucking sucks. It's exactly how I feel about it. Quoting Gabriel Cash there from Tango and Cash. It does. It fucking sucks. Next up, we have Terminator Genesis 2 and 3. Not happening. Although in a March 2016 quote, Arnold is looking forward to doing another one. But he suggested the Terminator franchise isn't dead yet. It's dead. It's fucking dead. But then I heard something about, no, it's not. If there's going to be another one, and Emilia Clarke is not going to come back as Sarah Connor, which is good for me. I think I said her name correctly. Miss Clarke is a total miscast. She looks like she's a baby face. She looks like Miley Cyrus. I don't buy Hannah Montana as Sarah Connor. So I'd be fine with somebody for her getting recasted. But I don't want another Terminator movie anyway. T2 was it. Anything afterward just made everything that happened in T2 completely fucking pointless. T2 stopped Judgment Day. And then here comes T3 being like, it was inevitable. Just like I guess it's inevitable that we'll have the tons of fucking sequels to this franchise that I don't want and I don't care for. You know what I want you to do with the Terminator franchise? Give me a big budget animated direct-to-video movie on RoboCop versus Terminator. Do that. Do that instead. Have Arnold voice the Terminator. Have Peter Weller come back and voice RoboCop. Do that, and I will be really excited. I'll be really happy for it, and I'll probably pre-order it and buy it the day it comes out. If you're not gonna do that, fuck off. I don't want to see any more Terminator movies. Especially not ones where Arnold is smiling like a dumbass to Bad Boys. Bad Boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Anyway, then we have Thor 3, which is Thor Ragnarok. I don't know about this, because Thor 2 sucked. Thor 2 was forgettable as fuck. I barely remember anything about that movie. I remember the villain was lame. I don't even remember his name. I know the actor. I think it was Christopher Eccleston. And I remember that it sounded like he was speaking Klingon. I remember there was stuff with this red stuff that fucks things up. I remember Thor teaming up with Loki. I remember him and Loki flying around a spaceship. That's all I remember about this movie. Oh, and Kat Dennings being an annoying bitch. That's pretty much all I remember about Thor 2. So I don't really care about Thor 3 because I didn't care about Thor 2. I liked Thor, the first Thor, but Thor 2 is terrible. It's so awful. It's definitely one of the worst Marvel movies out there. And it's directed by Taika Waititi, and I don't really know if that's the right choice. This guy who directed What We Do in the Shadows, a film I liked, but I don't even know if he's the right choice to direct a Thor movie. But then again, I didn't think Kenneth Branagh was the right choice either. He did an amazing job with Thor, so we shall see. Maybe Thor Ragnarok will be better than Thor 2. I hope so. But until I see a trailer, I can't really say, yeah, Thor 3. I'm really excited. Because I'm not. Three Stooges 2. No. I did. I gotta admit, I'm not a fan of Three Stooges. I never have been. I know a good friend of mine is a big fan. That's cool. I have no problem with people who like the Three Stooges. I've just never been a fan of them or their comedy, so that's why I haven't even bothered to even watch the Three Stooges movie, directed by the Farrelly brothers. So I don't really care about Three Stooges 2. The next one, maybe this is something that if Tony Scott was still with us, then yeah. But now that he isn't, no. And especially not the plot that I've been hearing that they might be doing, and that's Top Gun 2. I don't really want to see a Top Gun 2 when it comes, especially with the stupid plot with drones. I don't want to see Top Gun with drones. I don't care about it. I don't want to see it. They already kind of did that in Stealth when the stealth bomber got hit with a lightning bolt. I don't really want to see Top Gun 2 but with drones. I don't want to see Top Gun drones. I don't want to see Top drones, and especially not after Tony Scott's unfortunate suicide. I just think you should just leave the franchise alone and lay it to rest along with Tony, out of respect to Tony Scott. That's just how I feel. And I'm a huge fan of Top Gun. It's one of my favorite films. I just don't want to see a sequel. It'll probably be, if they do make it, it'll probably be just as shitty as the video game sequels. Toy Story 4. Really? Do we need... What story are they going to tell here? I mean, after Toy Story 3 ended, it bookended things well. The toys are going to a new home. It opened up for a room for a sequel, but I don't think it needs it. I think it pretty much ended full circle. We don't need a sequel, but the Toy Story movies make a ton of money, so it would not be surprised if this does happen. It probably will, and it'll make a buttload of money. But it doesn't mean that I'm looking forward to it, because I'm really not. I don't think we need a fourth film, and I wasn't even the super biggest fan of Toy Story 3 in the first place. So, yeah. And we have Trainspotting 2. We have Danny Boyle is doing it. Trainspotting is a film I've heard about, but I've never actually gotten around to seeing. And I don't know if it needs a sequel, but I guess it's supposed to start shooting maybe this year, so we'll see what happens with that. Your Transformers 5. I like the first three. I haven't seen them in a long time though, so I don't know how they hold up. I didn't see the fourth film because the running time turned me off. I don't like Marky Mark and his Funky Bunch and his shitty acting where he's in the Transformers movie and he's all like, "It's a Transformer." I just really not a big fan of Marky Mark, and I don't really. I don't know about these Transformers movie sequels. It's supposed to be Transformers 6, Transformers 7, Transformers 8. Pretty much, there's a writer's room that plotted out the next 10 years of Transformers. Hasbro chief Stephen J. Davis revealed, "We're doing the same in television and digital, so stay tuned. Transformers 5 is on its way, 6, 7, and 8. So, if you thought didn't want any more Michael Bay Transformers movies, well, you're in for a surprise, because you're not only going to get another one, you're going to get another one after that, and then another one after that, and then yet another one after that. So have fun with that. And the reason why is these movies make money. Transformers 4 made over $1 billion worldwide. And this is a film that was getting bashed by people before its release. People were saying, "Hey, don't buy a ticket. Don't watch this. This looks terrible. Another Michael Bay Transformers movie. Michael Bay sucks." And still, the movie made a shit ton of money on opening weekend and made even more money worldwide. So, if you really do feel that Michael Bay's Transformers movies suck, don't go see them in the theater. I'm just saying. Because by doing so, you're just gonna make it so there's gonna be more of these Michael Bay Transformers movies. And it's not going to end. And they are probably still going to suck. But as long as they make money, Hollywood doesn't give a shit. Speaking of movies that I don't give a shit about, Triplets. I like Twins. It's a great comedy. Don't need a third one. I mean, we don't need a second film. We don't need Triplets, especially not with Eddie Murphy. Eddie hasn't been funny in decades, and I just don't. It's not really a necessary idea. I don't really. It's something Arnold wants to do, but it's one of those things. I think it's in his dreams. I don't think it's happening. I don't think it'll ever happen, and I'd be totally fine if that's the case. Then we have Tron 3, which it was canceled. It was pretty much canceled. And part of me is okay, alright, but another part of me is like, I would have been interested to see what Krasinski would have brought to Tron 3. I really would have been interested in that, because Tron Legacy is a time waster for me. It could have been a lot better, but there are things about it that I definitely didn't like. And I really think it would have been interesting to see where they would have taken the story after the end of Tron 2. But it appears that that's not going to happen. And if that's the case, that's fine. I'm alright with it. I can deal with it. Tron Legacy was a little bit of a disappointment after, a few more viewings. So, I gotta say, yeah, part of me's interested, but at the same time, I'm okay with it not happening. Then we have Tucker and Dale versus Evil 2, which I really do want to happen. I want this to happen so badly. I remember seeing news about this and reported on like Bloody Disgusting, and then it was an old article, and like nothing ever happened, and it's something that it's something I want to happen, but that's why it'll probably never happen. It's like I want Dread 2 to happen. Probably will never happen. But maybe we'll get an Amazon or Netflix TV series, and that'd be awesome. I'd be up for that. Especially if the Punisher series is successful with the guy with John Bernthal from Daredevil season 2, because that was just announced that they're going to do a Punisher standalone Netflix TV miniseries. If that's successful, which I definitely do feel it will be, I definitely think Amazon or Netflix should absolutely strongly consider doing Dread with Carl Urban, a miniseries like The Punisher. Because The Punisher is successful, Dread is going to be successful. Dread's going to be successful whether or not The Punisher is successful or not. So just do it. What are you waiting for? Do it. Get it done. Then the same thing with Tucker and Dale versus Evil 2. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I don't know how they really do the sequel. Are they going to have it kind of a bait and switch type plot like the first movie did, or are they actually going to have them face like an actual supernatural threat? I'd be up for them actually facing some kind of supernatural threat. But if they're going to do the bait and switch thing again, come up with a unique sort of spin on it. But either way, I would look forward to it, because I love Alan Tudyk and Tyler Labine. I loved Tucker and Dale versus Evil, and I definitely look forward to a sequel. The next one is Underworld Next Generation. I hope they change that title, because Next Generation, what is this? Star Trek TNG with vampires and Kate Beckinsale? This is supposed to come out this year sometime. I actually liked the little bits and pieces I saw Underworld 4. I didn't mind it. And I'm definitely going to say, folks, when this movie comes out this year, before it comes out, I'll probably review the Underworld films to lead up to it. I think that'd be a good time to do that. And I don't know about Underworld 5. Maybe it'll be good. I didn't mind the stuff that I saw for Underworld 4, so we'll see. We're the Millers 2. This is one of those films that I saw, and when I was visiting my dad in Michigan, it did not impress me. I thought it was really not even really that funny. It was just pretty forgettable. Jennifer Aniston was the best part of it. So, Jason Sudeikis is annoying as hell, and he was a douchebag. So, we might get a sequel. He might not. I'd be fine with the not option. Then we have What We Do in the Shadows 2, which is going to focus more on the werewolves. Okay, maybe I'll wait for a trailer. That's what I'll do with What We Do in the Shadows 2, because I did like the first one. I didn't love it, though. I didn't think it was gut-bustingly funny. I didn't think it was like the funniest thing ever, like a lot of other critics did. But I did get quite a few chuckles out of it. I did like the concept. And overall, I liked the film. Now, Wolf Cop 2, I am definitely looking forward to, because I loved Wolf Cop. I even have a Wolf Cop poster on my wall. I have a Wolf Cop sticker on my window. I really do enjoy Wolf Cop. I know a good friend of mine didn't enjoy it as much as I did. That's fine. It's not a film for everybody, but I loved it. It was so much fun to me. It was fast-paced. It was entertaining. It was definitely my type of movie. It was gory, good practical effects. I'm looking forward to Wolf Cop 2, and it's something that is getting they're looking for funding on Indiegogo, and I think they got it already. I think they got their funding. Yeah, they got plenty enough funding. They got over 111% funding, so they got over 100% funding for the film. I'm looking forward to what they're gonna do with Wolf Cop 2. I'm definitely looking forward to Wolf Cop 2 more than the Wolverine 3. Hugh Jackman, I just don't know. He's the Wolverine 3. Is it going to be rated R? Is it not? Are we going to see Berserker Rage from Wolverine? Are we not? Probably not. Is it going to be Old Man Logan? Can't really be that storyline because of all the characters that are in that story that their rights are owned by different studios. That's not Fox. So I don't know. I hate it. Is the third time really going to be the charm here? I doubt it. I really do. I highly doubt the third time is going to be the charm here. I hate it. I did not like the Wolverine. I thought it sucked. X-Men Origins sucked. What, is the third Wolverine movie finally going to get it right? I don't think so. I don't. Hugh Jackman's trying to make Wolverine pacified for the kiddies, but then he voices Wolverine in the video game for X-Men Origins, and he's doing Berserker Rage, and it's bloody and gory. I want to see an R-rated Wolverine. I am curious about that, but I want them to do it right, and I want it to be good. Just it being R-rated isn't enough of a plus for me. Is not enough of a reason for me to be excited for Wolverine 3, just because it's R-rated. Or could be R-rated. So I guess I'll wait for a trailer to get my final say on it. But right now, I'm not really psyched. I'm not really excited for Wolverine 3 because the last two Wolverine movies are pretty shitty. Then we have World War Z 2, which I really was surprised for World War Z. I had no expectations for that film. In fact, I thought it was going to suck, and I saw it and I really liked it. At least I saw the unrated version. And I hope they would do the sequel, release it R. Don't do PG-13 again. I know it made over $500 million at the worldwide at the box office, but the unrated cut is 10 times better than the theatrical cuts. Stick with the R rating for the sequel. Brad Pitt's going to come back, and it's got a release date of maybe 2017, around sometime in June. So this is something that has been announced, but I don't even know if it started shooting yet. Like, it would have to start shooting pretty soon if they're going to hit that release date. So, we'll see. I'm up for it because I like World War Z, but we'll see if we'll get some Z2. But until then, I don't know. Then we have Wreck-It Ralph 2, which I haven't actually seen Wreck-It Ralph. I'm curious about it. I like the concept. I've just never actually gotten around to seeing it. So this is something that is 100% confirmed now. Once Rich Moore is done with Zootopia, which of course he is, Wreck-It Ralph 2 is on his slate. So the plot isn't, we don't even know what the plot is yet, but it's happening. So you Wreck-It Ralph fans, you got more. It's coming. More Wreck-It Ralph. Then we have X-Men Apocalypse, which is coming out this May. Month of my birthday. Yay! Bryan Singer's fan fiction. That's nothing like the comics. Woo! I'm so excited. Not really. The latest trailer was better than any of the other trailers I've seen for this movie, but that's not saying anything. Iron Man 3's last trailer was pretty good, and that movie was garbage. So I don't really... I think I might, though, depends on how my schedule is, I might revisit the X-Men films, at least the X-Men movies, not the Wolverine movies. I already reviewed those. I mean, the X-Men films that I didn't really review for this channel, like the first one, the second one, X3, and yeah, Days of Future Past, because maybe First Class again. Probably will, because it ties in with Days of Future Past in the lead up to this movie. But maybe not. We'll see. It's up to how I feel, up to how much I've gotten done with all this other stuff I had planned. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to Apocalypse. It could be good. I don't know. I've just lost faith in Bryan Singer after seeing Days of Future Past. I just was not a fan of that one, and I haven't seen it in a long time. And I didn't review it, but I was just so unimpressed with it. I just didn't really have the energy to do a review about it. I thought it was pretty forgettable. So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know about Apocalypse. Me personally, I'm just not looking forward to it. It's fine if you are, but I'm not. So, I can't wait till Singer is. I just can't believe I'm saying this. I love X2. I was a huge fan of that movie. I was pissed off that Brett Ratner fucked up the Dark Phoenix storyline that was set up so perfectly at the end of X2. And I was one of those people who was like, please get Bryan Singer to come back to this franchise. And he does, and he just fucks things up. I just don't... Now I'm saying things I never thought I'd ever say. I want him away from this franchise. Get him away from this franchise. Give someone else the reins and some new blood. And make it closer to the comics. Give them their costumes. And they're kind of doing that in this one. Which is kind of weird. I've seen some clips where Cyclops looks like he's wearing his outfit. But it looks weird. His visor's all off. I don't know. Maybe they actually will have their costumes in this. But we'll see. Psylocke looks like Psylocke from the comics. Which is nice. But Storm, she has the mohawk like she did in one of those earlier comics. So... I don't know. It's one of those things where Apocalypse, I'm not looking forward to it, but this latest trailer kind of got me somewhat interested in it. So I probably won't see it, but who knows? Maybe I'll see it with a friend or something. I don't know. If I do, I'll tell you guys about it. But if I don't, I'll probably wait till it comes out on home video. But yeah. Apocalypse is just... I love the Age of Apocalypse storyline, and this just does not look like that storyline is being done justice at all. It takes place in the 80s, and it's just... what are we doing here? I just don't like this fan fiction shit. I just don't like it. Then we have XXX3, where Vin Diesel is coming back. So I guess they're going to retcon the second movie, and the bonus feature where Xander Cage died. Fine with me, because that movie sucked. With Ice Cube. Jet Li's supposedly going to play the leader of a team that goes head-to-head with Vin Diesel's crew. It's due maybe in January of 2017. So January of next year. The month where all movies go to die. XXX3. That's a glowing recommendation right there. I don't know. I'll wait for a trailer. That's all I gotta say. I don't know yet. I'll wait for a trailer. And I did like XXX. I saw it in the theater. I liked the movie. I think it's a really fun movie. It's actually probably my favorite film that Vin Diesel stars in. So, yeah, I'm curious, but at the same time, I don't know. I'll wait till I see a trailer to really give a final sort of thought on it. And the last film on this list is Zombieland 2. Which was Amazon ordered a pilot episode for a TV show, which was shitty. Nobody picked it up. So now Universal is trying to do a sequel to it. So they're working on a draft. And I remember reading something about that it's moving a little bit farther along than some people might expect. So it could be coming soon. I like Zombieland. I thought it was a fun movie, so maybe a sequel could be fun. But until I really know what the plot is, or if it's definitely for sure going to happen, I can't really say anything. Except that, hey, the idea of a Zombieland 2 could be nice, but it could also suck. So that's not so nice. But anyway, thank you for watching this series of videos. I hope you guys enjoyed them. And as always, I will see you guys later. See ya.